to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open Public Meetings Act statement.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was forwarded to the official township newspapers, posted on the bulletin board and township website. This meeting is being videotaped and will be on Channel 9.
Roll call.
Mr. Doyle?
Here.
Mr. Fiorella?
Here.
Mr. Pena is in absence, he's away at work. Mr. Marsh?
Here.
Mayor Bruno?
Here. Introduce the following ordinance. The public hearing will be on June 11th, 2024. The ordinance is 0524, privately owned salt storage. Can I get a motion to introduce that? Second. I'll make a motion. I'm in a rush tonight.
Do that backwards.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to open the first public portion for resolutions and ordinances below?
Motion to open the first public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to close the first public portion?
Motion to close.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve correspondence and reports?
Motion to approve correspondence reports.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve bill list. What is that, Barb? You're missing something here. Motion to approve April 23rd, 2024.
Minutes.
You didn't say minutes. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Motion to approve the minutes from April 23rd, 2024.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the bill list?
Motion to approve the bill list.
Second. Barb?
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve a raffle license for VFW and Spirit and Truth Ministries?
Motion to approve the raffle license.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve mobile food handling license, JF Coffee Concessions, Cook for Land, Hands Down Barbecue, and Bouillon Viaggio?
Close enough. Motion to approve the food handle license.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution R7524, appointing Christina Mulford to the position of construction clerk, probation retroactively to January 24th, 2024.
Motion for R7524.
Second. All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 7624, approving a shared services agreement between the Township of Franklin and the County of Gloucester to provide family movie entertainment.
Motion for R7624.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. What is that, Laura?
It's August.
August, okay.
Yes. August 5th, I think.
Thank you. Resolution 7724, appointing Candace Delaney as Economic Development Commission Secretary effective May 15, 2024.
Motion R7724.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 7824, appointing Candace Delaney as the Environmental Commission Secretary effective May 15, 2024.
Motion R7824.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 7924, authorizing the distribution of $15,000 from the Township's Open Space Trust Fund to assist in the preservation of the Scheibman Palisade property as open space.
Motion R7924.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8024, authorizing the tax collector to grant tax exemption for a totally disabled veteran.
Motion R8024.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8124, authorizing the tax collector to grant tax exemption for a totally disabled veteran.
Motion R8124.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8224, authorizing the tax collector to grant tax exemption for a widow or a totally disabled veteran.
Motion R8224.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8324, authorizing the tax collector to prepare and mail estimated third quarter tax bills in accordance with PL 1994 C-27.
Motion R 8320.
C-72, I'm sorry.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8424, authorizing refund of construction fees to David and Catherine Perrin.
Motion R 8424.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8524, authorizing the tax collector and chief financial officer to refund overpayment of taxes.
Motion R 8524.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8624, appointing Michael Travash as a Class 3 School Resource Officer for the Township of Franklin Police Department.
Motion R 8624.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Resolution 8724, authorizing the mayor to execute an employment agreement between the Township of Franklin and School Resource Officer Michael Travash.
Motion R 8724.
Second.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fiorella?
Yes.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes. Can I get a motion to open the second public portion for any comments?
Motion to open the second public portion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, Chris Sayers, 184 Malaga Lake Boulevard. First, I'd like to thank you guys. I've been trying to get my wife to come out to one of these meetings for the past year, and she hasn't, but you guys, your actions finally got her to come out, so I appreciate that in some weird and twisted way. So, as many of you probably already know, I'm running in the Republican primary, and my campaign got a little ahead of its skis and started putting out yard signs throughout the township. Apparently, I received an email from the administrator who advised me that a permit was required in order for private property owners to put yard signs in their property. Is that correct?
That's not correct. You need to get, your campaign needs to get a permit.
No.
If I give you a sign and you put it in your yard, you do not need a permit.
Yeah, I didn't put them in the yards. I gave out signs and
That's
people
what I
put them
mean.
in their own
Yeah,
private yards.
Each individual you give it a sign to, they're not required.
Okay, so this was just a misunderstanding. Because I just wanted to make sure, because, you know, I tried to, you know, I always try to follow all the rules. You know, I'm a stickler for that. And this was just out of sheer ignorance. And I know, you know, not knowing about the law is no excuse for not following the law. So when I received the email, it was right in the middle of work. So I took a lunch break and I drove all the way from West Stepford down to Franklin Township to file the permit, which is what I did. And so I filed the permit, so everything's legal and legit. But as I was driving down, I noticed all the Trump signs everywhere, and all the Trump flags, and the Let's Go Brandon signs. And I saw a few Republican candidates for Senate signs. And yeah, it just kind of struck me as funny that, you know, all those signs are perfectly okay, but yet my campaign signs need to have a permit for people to put them in their yards, their own personal yards, not on the side of the road, not on public property. Mr. Lyons, did you care to comment? Is that true? I mean, you are the solicitor. I just want to make sure that their legal advice of what their interpretation of the ordinance is correct.
I think your interpretation is completely misplaced. I'll just say that.
Okay. How so?
I just think that it is.
So you
I
think a
don't think
local
you have-
candidate has
No, I
fewer
think-
rights in Franklin Township
No,
than a
that's not-
state
that's not
and a
what I
federal
said,
candidate?
And I'm not going to debate you. I think the ordinance is there and it's been there, and it doesn't speak to that property owner as you say that it does. It has the obligation on the party to obtain that permit, not on the individual homeowner.
So does President Trump have to come to Franklin Township
I'm
to
not
file
gonna
a
comment
permit?
on President Trump and what he has to do. Okay?
Because there's a lot of Trump supporters in Franklin Township who'd be really upset if we were going to start
I'm not
enforcing
saying-
that ordinance.
Again, you understood the ordinance enough to fill out the application, so.
I was instructed to by the administrator, who actually in the email suggested that, asked if I had talked to the clerk about filing the permit, which he could have just gone the 5 feet down to her office and asked her to begin with. But once again, unfortunately, it just speaks to business as usual in Franklin Township. petty politics, petty vendettas. Some people have more privileges than other people.
Without a permit, I ran those trucks.
Did the other side?
I didn't check. It's not my job to check. It's free. So you're complaining about a free permit.
No, I'm complaining about unequal treatment and harassment. That's what I'm complaining about.
Be harassed. The problem is you're not. You complained about the community center because you want to follow the rules as everybody else. Then when we paid it for you, you still complain.
So I complained about the community center. Okay, let's talk about the community center. So when I used the community center, I was told to go to the administrator's office, and I was told in no uncertain terms that that cannot be used for any political event or political solicitation. But what did I find out? That my opponent used the community center to get names to sign his petition for his re-election campaign.
Weren't you talking about freedom of speech? They were residents who passed this.
Oh, so once again, I apparently, as a resident of this township, don't have freedom of speech, unlike the people who are in charge of Franklin Township. The residents see through the unequal treatment, gentlemen. It's unfortunate. That's why it's causing a lot of people. We have quite a few signs, and there's quite a lot of enthusiastic people out there putting them on their lawns.
No, we're not gonna get too political.
Well, okay, yeah, absolutely. Also, unfortunately, I would have liked to have I was talking to a lot of residents over the past couple weeks, a lot of them. And they've told me quite a few interesting stories about your governance. And I guess I'll save that for next time and talk about that a little bit more. So, thank you for your time.
Hi, Mayor, committee members, thank you. My name is Jerry Bakanowski. I'm a scout leader at the Presbyterian Church of Woodbury. We actually have youth from all over Gloucester County. I would like to introduce my Life Scout, Xander Taylor, who's going to be presenting an Eagle Scout project for your consideration and hopefully your approval. If you do approve the project, the Scout will then submit the proposal to Scouts of America for final approval and then coordinate with the appropriate parties to get the project started and hopefully complete it in a timely manner. So I'd like to turn it over to Xander Taylor, please.
Good evening. I'm here to about a Eagle project for the Buffalo Soldier Cemetery. I would like to be kind of refurbishing and adding a lot of stuff to the cemeteries, such as a butterfly garden, bird bath, new trees, perennials. I'm actually also going to be replacing a hazard, which is a rotted bench, and putting in 2 new benches. And I will also be repainting the fence because I've noticed it's been peeling a lot.
Which cemetery?
Buffalo Soldier. Well, I'm talking about.
When you, if you proceed with that, I donated a lot of the trees and stuff in there, so if someone died, just let me know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess when it's time, I guess you can do it through the administrator.
Yeah, we've been in contact, that's why we're here tonight, so.
We just wanted to get Franklinville's blessing to proceed with getting the approval from Scouts of America, as well as, make sure that the committee and the mayor did not have any immediate questions. Obviously, it's a working document, and once we get rolling, the Scout will obviously have some decisions to make that'll have to coordinate with everybody. That's appropriate, but we did want to seek your initial blessing.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you for now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Survive. What are you doing? See you. Thank you.
You got it.
Good evening. Leah Vasello, 560 Delsey Drive. I was here 2 meetings ago, and I was discussing Jonathan Keene's report on the state of the township and the issue of his claim that our surplus entering January 2019 was under $9,000. Do you remember us having that conversation?
I remember a couple of them.
Okay. And we went over the difference between surplus and anticipated surplus in a budget, and we said anticipated surplus is a revenue item. It's an income for the township because you're putting it into the budget, and it is not the same thing as surplus. So I was very surprised to see this letter from you to fellow Franklin Township residents, again claiming our surplus entering January 2019 was $8,809.24. When I think you know that's not the case at this point. That was the surplus that was anticipated in the budget, but it was not the actual surplus. That was how much of the surplus we were anticipating spending that year. And then you also said that at that time we were in difficult financial straits, and the Township Committee devised a comprehensive plan to improve our situation. Now, I was on Township Committee at that time, as were you,
In 19?
2019. So my question is, because I don't remember us being in difficult financial straits, and I certainly don't remember a comprehensive plan designed to create or to fix a problem that didn't exist. So I'm curious to know, what are you referring to as a comprehensive
I'm
plan?
not going to get into closed session meetings and stuff.
It doesn't have to be. There's nothing.
Stuff that was said in closed session.
They
meetings,
shouldn't
I'm
be.
just not gonna get
Finances
into
are not closed session material.
Well,
So my question
we
is,
had discussions in closed session.
well, if you
Some
did on,
comments were made about some things.
if you did on finances, that was a mistake. Now, here's my question. Describe to me then the financial straits we were in at that time.
We were upside down in a police agreement with Buda.
How were we
Whoever
upside
made the
down?
police agreement, we lost money after the first year.
You-
Okay?
I disagree, but go on.
No, that-
So what were the financial straits?
We're losing money. We're providing a service to another township, and we're not getting.
But the
money that
township
we're
itself
spending.
was not in financial straits. Can we agree on that?
Oh, I would ask around the town. I'm sure if they find out they're footing the bill for the police.
I
that's a
don't
problem.
believe that any,
That's
was
a
any
problem.
more real than
Listen, I'm
the,
not- you don't have to
the
be.
statement that our surplus was $8,809.24.
Was that verified by the,
Because I have,
the CFO
well, I actually
verified
have the
that?
audit here from 2018, and as of December 31st, 2018, the surplus was $913,255.37.
But then the budget for 19, how much did you use of that?
The 9,000. That's what I'm saying, is the difference between a surplus anticipated in the budget
You did not
and
use
the
$9,000.
actual, that was, well, then where's this 8,809?
That's all that was left.
No, I'm looking at your audit. Either your auditor's
That's the
wrong.
18.
This
Where-
is December 31st, 2018, and you're
And the
claiming
19 budget,
that, no, as of January,
used that surplus.
hang on, as of January 1st, 2019, so a day after this figure, we somehow lost $900,000? I don't think so. Neither does anyone else.
You're preparing the budget. You use
You-
that to balance the budget.
You,
At the end of the balancing of the
That's-
budget for
you can't-
19.
you-
At the balancing of the
that's-
budget.
that's
at
not
the balancing
surplus.
of the budget,
That's-
you used
No.
800 and some $1,000 of the
Let me be
surplus,
clear.
leaving you
No.
$8,800.
no, you can't use.
Anyone can Oprah the budget
Stop.
if they'd like to
Stop.
for 2019.
I'm going to ask you to stop so I can actually say.
It'll be laid right out for
No,
you.
that is
Yes.
so incorrect. You do not
is
spend
not.
money by budgeting it, and you should know that. You should know that. Now, the reason the surplus was lower than normal, can you tell me that, Jake, since you sat on the committee at that time? Because that was a lower surplus than normal. Can you tell me why? Do you remember?
I don't remember now.
Okay, well, I'll tell you that the reason was because in December, as of December 31st, 2018, the committee had authorized but not issued $3.2 million of bonds, notes, which we didn't borrow, $3.28 million that year that we could have in the normal bond anticipation note renewal. So we knew in 2019 that in addition to whatever surplus was in the budget, there was also $3.2 million of notes that would be reissued that year that were not issued in 2018. All we did in 2018 was save the interest on $3.2 million of notes that we didn't take out. It did not in any way put us in any financial straits. And the fact that somebody's arguing that it did, either indicates that you're not the one who actually came up with these figures, which would be my guess, and that the person who did, which I'm guessing now is Mr. Finley, didn't actually know what was going on in 2019. But I'm just going to say as clearly as possible, there was no financial straits, there was no comprehensive plan developed, and nobody was worried in January of 2019 about the finances of the township, including all 5 members on the township committee. I don't remember you expressing any concern. Do you?
We can talk later about it.
Well, you could say now, yes, I expressed a concern, or no, I
Thank you for
didn't.
your comments, Dave.
Because you didn't,
Okay.
because it's not true.
Harry Kennedy, 1578 Fry's Mill Road. I don't know if you remember, Mr. Mayor, because you were the only one that was sitting on Township Committee at that time, but the Chief Financial Officer resigned, sent a scathing letter as to the way the township was being run, specifically about the Finance Director at that time, who I believe was Mr. Deegan, and left saying the Finance Director always gets blamed for the incompetence of the Township Committee. Now, that's operable also, if anybody wants to read that letter and see what that Chief Financial Officer had to say. In the interim, getting...
What time that happened?
No, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's happened many times in Franklin Township due to the incompetence of the people that sit there from time to time. Not necessarily this group, but this time. I have nothing to say about your competence at this particular moment. But the other thing that happened, and I think you have to be very aware, and when the township entered into the agreement with Buna, there was a very clear understanding that in order for it to be profitable, there couldn't be a great addition of police officers in order to make the agreement work. That township committee, of which you were a part, and the chief at that time, lobbied very hard, as was his duty, I guess, as the police chief, to get more officers. Well, once you get more officers and you're spending more time and you're doing more things, there are some added costs. As to the agreement, obviously you've renegotiated it, and the proof will be in the pudding as to whether or not it's a beneficial agreement for Franklin Township. It all comes down to man hours, time spent, hours there, right, the whole thing. It's hard to tell until you finish it. And again, Mr. Finley has experience. He's a former cop. He was a captain in Vineland before he was fired. He was right at the center of all the scandals in Vineland, the centerpiece of it. But the thing to remember is Mr. Finley, and nothing against former captains of the police department, or they're competent in what they do. Ms. Vassallo, by the way, has a law degree, has an MBA, that's a Master's in Business Administration and Finance, and also has a degree in engineering. I think she might know what she's talking about in terms of finance, Jake. And again, your expertise when it comes to fixing wires and doing electricity, I don't argue with you. That's your expertise. That's what you do well. I don't argue with Mr. Doyle when it comes time to figure out ways to get tax abatements or to build things without doing the proper things. He's the best at it. He's also very good at the other things he does in the farming industry. He's good in the landscaping business. That's what he's good at. Again, we all have our niche. We all do things well. We all do some things not so well. But to argue about what was political fodder for saving the township with a special plan to come up with the finances to deal with the past sins. Come on. No wonder we're only having one meeting in May. It used to be that way in October, now it's in May. You do what you have to do. And again, it's virtually impossible to beat somebody in a primary, Jake. You're right. When you said to Mr. Sayers, you're really nailing it. If you're on the line with Donald Trump in Franklin Township, it's going to be very difficult to lose an election. Not impossible, but very difficult. Of course, we all know that. Next year, it'll be a little bit different. There'll be a lot of gubernatorial candidates, a lot of different lines, and a lot of different candidates. It should be a fun year. In fact, I see that we're going to have our own gubernatorial candidate right here from Gloucester County. And the fact that our former senator, both our former senators are going to be running for governor. be a tough choice for all of us when that primary comes around. And again, it is what it is, and all of us have jobs to do. I think most of you up here want to do the best you can do. You want to do the best you can do for the township. Politics is politics. You can claim the things that are good. You can decry the things that are bad. You can talk about the great plans that you've implemented. And the only difference between myself and most other residents of Franklin Township is that I've talked to every single administrator that left here. I hope I'll get a chance to talk to Mr. Finley soon. But I've talked to each and every one of them, and each and every one of them has given the same insight as to the competence of this Township Committee. Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Dave Marshall, 67 New Road, Malaga. Being 5 minutes really isn't enough to be able to see what's going on, and being obviously, Mr. Bruno, you have plenty of protection around you. As a resident of Franklin Township and a Republican, I would love to see some kind of, before the primary, some kind of debate.
Listen, this is a township meeting. This ain't your wish list of debates, okay? I mean, like, do you really think this is the proper place to do it?
Well, you don't respond to my emails, so I thought this was the only
Why
way.
don't I respond to your emails? Like, you email
Because-
all the time. It's just all the same nonsense all the time.
You haven't responded to one.
I won't.
So even the first one, if it wasn't nonsense, you just can't read it, I
If
guess.
you have a legitimate concern, I would respond.
I'll make sure to lower my terms and make it a little bit more simpler for you.
Yeah, there you go.
So again, what I was saying was it'd be really nice to have a debate between you and Chris, so us residents can choose who's the best choice for primary.
Listen, it seems like what the people send you and Chris are debating enough on your own on Facebook, so keep up that. Keep that up. I heard you're doing good with that.
Well, good, I'm glad. And I still have a little bit of time left. I'd like to release that time and give it to Leah Vassallo so she can finish what she was talking
That's not the
about.
way it works.
I thought that is legally, from what I understood. Is that correct, Mr. Lyons? You can give your time to another person?
That's legal.
That is legal.
It's legal under what?
It's from what I've understood, from what it states when you look at the statute of time for meetings, that you can release and give your time to another resident. And I'll be happy to stand up here with her while my time runs out, while she talks. I'm getting a little hoarse. My time's still running. You can stop it if you like, but I thought she's allowed to do that.
Nah, I'll have to review the township ordinance on that.
You got it.
All right, so we got 3 minutes and 30 seconds here roughly that I can have, after the meeting, if you get that time up there.
I'm not saying that the time is transferable. You're saying-
I understand, but you said you have to review it, but that's how much time I have left that can be saved then.
Okay.
So she's not
So
going to be
am
allowed
I
to speak in my
speaking, or,
time?
I'll have
No.
to review it, if you would have emailed me, I would have been prepared to answer that. So-
Well, I wasn't going to do it, so she
Didn't
didn't have a chance to
anticipate
finish.
this.
You're right, this wasn't planned.
but I just wanted to finish the discussion with Mr. Finley about the dire financial straits that were supposedly occurring in 2019. If nobody's interested? Nah, I didn't think so.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, guys. Wow. This'll be good.
Yes?
I'd like to, probably Mr. Doran might be able to help me out with this. This property across from Harry Kennedy's, in the farm area,
Yep.
do you own that or do you lease that?
No, I lease it.
Oh,
I don't own it.
you know, you lease it?
Yes, I don't own it.
Are you
I
in
never
favor
owned it.
of what they're saying about changing to these panels of,
There's been some litigation in cases, I don't attend any of them, but.
I don't get what you're saying.
I said there's been some applications and litigation about it.
You just have to identify yourself so we know who's talking. I know who you are, but you just have to identify yourself.
Marcia Belinsky, 2281 Grand Avenue.
There we go. Perfect, thank you.
But I was wondering, are you in favor of what's going on? I'm not in favor of those panels or whatever else they were saying. I don't attend the
I don't think
planning
Grid
board
Connect solar projects give anything to the community.
You're in favor of it?
I said, I don't think that they are a good thing for the community. In general.
Now, the other thing I was going to say, isn't that protected farmland? That it's just supposed to be used for farming?
No, it's not preserved. It's not.
No, I thought it should be. I'm not in favor of what they want to do with those panels and everything else that they're saying.
Yeah,
That's my opinion, but,
yeah, I don't want to give any advice, because like I said, I farm it.
right. I think it should be reserved for farming, for what you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
I'm for the farmers
Thank you.
Thank you.
and the veterans. But thank you for your time.
No problem.
Okay, motion to close the second public portion.
Motion to close second public portion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Tim?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Mike?
A couple things last week. We attended, myself, the mayor was there for the Outback Golf Tournament. That all the proceeds go to the Recreation Committee. Recreation Committee really worked their butts off this year. The weather wasn't exactly cooperating with us, but we still had a good time. It was a great turnout. The Police Unity Tour came through Franklin Township on Thursday. We did a ceremony out here for Sergeant Gonzalez. It's been 29 years now since he was killed, 100 feet from our entrance to our police department. Next year will be 30 years, and I know Chief DeSoto will not disappoint, I'm sure, for next year for 30 years. You put on a great speech. The officers look great out there, and it's amazing what the front of the building looks like now with Gonzalez's badge out there, and I just want to commend you on that. Great job.
Historical has an article out on the history of Franklin Township Police Department that came out today in the Sentinel. And I also had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Gravener after the Delsey School Board, and she informed me that starting this year, they actually have 3 full-time teachers in industrial arts with full course load. So there's actually someone teaching electrical, someone teaching plumbing, and someone teaching construction science. And they look to expand that next year, which I thought was very interesting.
It's a good thing.
That's pretty good. Thanks, Mark. The shredding event was held last Saturday. Thanks to Public Works and DocuVault for helping. They shredded over 5,000 pounds of unwanted documents. And reminder for everybody, the VFW, I don't know if you've seen it, is hosting a Memorial Day Parade starting at 8:45 a.m. with a ceremony at the community center. Then the parade will go down Delsey Drive to the VFW. So far, there will be fire departments, police department, Miss Gloucester County, scout troops, and others. There will be hot dogs, hamburgers, and refreshments at the VFW following the parade. Thank you to the VFW and the Rec Commission for working together on this event. Let's thank all who served. Be safe and have a happy Memorial Day weekend that weekend.
What's the date, Joe?
The date on that is Memorial Day, 27th.
It's on that Monday?
Yes.
It's on that Monday.
And then there's something that I want to talk about. It's probably not going to be pleasant for some people. There's some comments made last meeting about notary and petitions and all that. And the alarming thing was the individual that brought up the comments and accused one of the township employees of signing a petition and notarizing the petition. But what he failed to do was look at the petition that he actually opened himself, realized it, because he asked for Tim Doyle's petition, and the petition in question was notarized by the clerk. So, understand something. These are employees. You got something to say about us up here, say it all day. Okay? Be critical of what we're doing. But you should not come into these meetings and criticize any of our employees. When you come in town hall and you ask for respect, they give you respect. I would expect the same thing here. It's just not right. So, you accuse someone of doing something a little under the rug, but you had the information in your hand. You're normally wrong. You were wrong again this time. So I guess at the least, as I'm asking, maybe you should apologize to the clerk.
Well, one, I didn't reference that particular situation. That's something you're using a confirmation narrative on. I have many signed petitions. You referenced that one. That was one I mentioned, but I didn't reference her in there.
You accused her of signing a petition and notarizing.
I did not. Go back and review the minutes, which are also inaccurate that you approved tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, That being said, we're not gonna see you again until June. Harry was right on that. He always is, just ask him. So with that being said, have a happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you in June. Meeting's adjourned.
Motion to close.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.